I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2025 into 2026, but we have brand new fairy tale support for Blazing Dominion, and this is honestly really adorable. Some of the artworks are absolutely amazing, and other artworks are very interesting. So let's get into it and let's talk about them. First up, we have Fairy Tale Matchlille. She is a level 4 spellcaster light effect monster with 1850 attack and 1000 defense, and you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If a spellcaster monster with 1850 original attack is on the field, you could special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except spellcaster monsters. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one fairy tale spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and you can pay 500 life points. The name of one effect monster your opponent controls becomes Fairy Prince. This is actually really good because it's a free extender. If you control any spellcaster that has 1850, this works well with Charmers. You can also use this in the actual Fairy Tale deck itself. And also, you can run this engine with Exosister, which is really good because Luna plus this equals a very free Exceed of a rank 4. But now let's get into the fusion. They have fusions now, so let's talk about them. We have Weaver of the Fairy Tale Tales. It is a level 4 Earth Spellcaster Fusion Effect Monster, 1850 attack and 1000 defense. I think all of them are. And it takes a Fairy Tale monster plus a Spellcaster monster. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. During the main phase, you could special summon one Fairy Tale monster from your deck or banishment. If you normal summon or special summon a non-Earth Fairy Tale monsters while this monster is on your field or on the field, you could target one effect monster your opponent controls, negates its effects. Also, its name becomes Fairy Prince. And any Fairy Prince monster on the field becomes a spellcaster. So, being able to have a negate, just being able to change the name as well. We saw this with number 69, Heraldry Crest, Dark Matter Demolition, not too long ago. So, them carrying it over to this archetype is really cool. Then we have Chronicler of the Fairy Tales. It's a level 4 spellcaster fusion effect monster, Earth with 1850 attack and 1000 defense. It takes one light Fairy Tale monster and a spellcaster monster, and you can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned using Fairy Prince as a material, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to them for each. Your Fairy Tale monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, and when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can banish one Fairy Tale card from your hand or graveyard except Fairy Tale's tail, negate the activation, and if you did, destroy this card. The reason why that you can't use Fairy Tale Tales is because in the OCG, you have a little thing in between the actual Fairy Tale itself, unlike something like Fairy Tale Snow. So this is in between here. It is literally of, so it is not a legible piece to banish for this. But honestly, this is a really good card, being able to burn the opponent for Fairy Prince materials and just nuking the board of literally just whatever is. This is actually a really good fusion, honestly. Being able to also negate an activation is also really good by banishing a Fairy Tale, so they have an Omni negate that just is good. And you just need to banish a Fairy Tale. Sorry about that. This is actually just one of the best cards that they received. Next up, we have Fairy Tale Wickat. It is a rank 4 Dark Spellcaster Exceed effect monster with 1850 attack and 1000 defense that takes 2 level 4 spellcasters. And this is for the mini engine that you can run. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Fairy Tale monsters you control whose original attribute is light are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You get to detach up to 2 materials from this card. Send that many Fairy Tale cards from your deck to the graveyard except Fairy Tale Tales. And if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send one Fairy Tale monster you control whose original attribute is light. Special summon this card, and if you do, send that monster to the graveyard. Overall, this is really good, being able just to send any Fairy Tale monster or cards from the deck to the graveyard, and you also get to just go, oh yeah, we can just summon this thing back out, which is really good if you need an additional material to go into Exceed monsters that need rank 4. So I definitely think Eclipse Twins is going to be very useful in this. And overall, I definitely think this is going to be a very prominent deck that we could see being a control strategy. Next up, we have Fairy Tail Long Long Ago, a brand new quick play spell card, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Special summon up to one light Fairy Tail monster with the different names each from your hand, graveyard, and or banishment. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except spellcaster monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, except from the field, or becomes banished, you could set it, but it cannot be activated unless you control a Fairy Tail monster. Being able to summon out 3 monsters for free is really good, and also Fairy Tail Snow fuels this effect to summon from the banishment, and this second effect is really useful if we also have Fairy Tail Snow, or you're banishing it off of Chronicler. So I could see a lot of plays going for this card alone, since you could just have a free rank 4, or just have a free rank 4 plus Luna is really good. After that, we have Fairy Tail Ball, a brand new field spell, and you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. When this card resolves, you can add 1 Fairy Tail monster or Fairy Tail Tails from your deck or banishment to your hand. Your Fairy Tail monsters can attack directly, and once per turn, if your opponent special summons the monsters and you control a Fairy Tail monster, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. Also, its name becomes Fairy Prince. Another way to change the name of a monster is really good, just for your fusion monsters. So you can make it a spellcaster and then fuse into Chronicler. Really useful. And finally, Tales of the Fairy Tail. I read this one a little ahead of time because it caught my attention, as you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. The equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. Once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 spellcaster fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field. You can also use any Fairy Prince your opponent controls. If this card is in the graveyard, you could equip it to a Fairy Tail monster on the field, then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 spellcaster monster with 1850 attack. This is a non-hard once per turn fusion summon, so you can clear out the opponent's board and summon out multiple different monsters for free. So you can normal summon Luna, get your search for something like the Matchlille, then you can equip this to the Luna and fusion summon, or you can summon out the Matchlille, and Matchlille allows you just to pay 500 to turn something into Fairy Prince. Effect of the fusion spell to fuse into something like the Chronicler, and then now the Fairy Prince becomes a spellcaster. Then you can go and re-equip the equip spell to the Chronicler, and then you can activate it so you can go from Weaver to Chronicler. So honestly, this is really good support. This is honestly good support. I can't wait to see what players do with this, because honestly, they made an actual just one-off thing every so often in a set to an actual theme. So just being able to have a non-once per turn effect to fusion summon is good. Going from Luna plus this into a Weaver into a Chronicler is absolutely amazing, because then you have a negate. So you can just do whatever spellcaster combos you could do. But tell me down in the comments below, were you expecting new Fairy Tail cards? Because I wasn't. But I'll see you all in the next video. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below, and if you want to show support, please hit that subscribe button as well. And I do also have channel memberships, and if you want to support the channel more, it would be much appreciated. Thank you to FGH for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.